We're here on the show floor at PPMA, thanks to our friends over at Mark & Mamage. I am joined now by Mike from Ilpra to talk a little bit about what he gets up to. So Mike, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Brilliant. Let's start off then. Can you tell us a little bit about Ilpra and what it is that you do as a business?
Ilpra is a packaging machinery manufacturer. We're based in Italy near Milan, and we've grown quite a lot over the recent years. So we started off making only 1, 2, 3 types of packaging machinery, but since we've grown, we've invested in buying percentages of other companies that also do packaging equipment. So now we can offer bagging machines, thermoformers, tray sealers, pot fillers, flow wrappers, metal detectors as well. So we are all UK based as well, and we managed to bring the Italian machinery over to the UK and then basically serve the Italian package in an English sort of box. We recently started working a lot on end-of-line equipment, because at the moment staffing issues seem to be a big problem since Brexit, maybe since COVID. I'm not quite sure which of it is that's causing it, but a bit of both probably. So a lot of inquiries have been coming recently for end-of-line, so automating the packaging even into the boxes, not just the packaging of the machinery, but the end-of-line as well. We also do a lot about consumables recently. We started using a lot of recycled or recyclable also materials in our packaging, and that's basically the main things that we do.
Yeah, wonderful. I mean, I want to pick up on a couple of these things. First off, the end of line. Now, it has been a bit of a key trend that we're seeing across our interviews and across the show floor from the different businesses is the fact that actually there is that staff shortage, and it is a bit of an issue. So it's fantastic that actually you are offering that solution. How's that going down with your customers?
I think a few years ago, no one would really talk about it because it was quite expensive. But now I go visit a customer, and sometimes you have a machine like this packing 40 or 100 packs a minute, and then you have 8, 9 people at the end of the line packing them into boxes, where the price of a machine could pay for itself in a year and a half, maybe 2 or 3, depending on the price of the equipment. But taking off 6 staff and only having 2 instead of 8 resolves the staffing issue. So I think now a lot of people are considering that because they realize that it makes financial sense to invest in it, especially considering now we've had issues trying to get people over from abroad. Visas are hard to acquire. You have to spend at least £5,000 and maybe a 6-month wait time to get staff from abroad. You know, before we used to have Italians come over for training, interns as well. And so, yeah, that's basically all the little things that are kind of causing issues at the moment.
Yeah, fantastic. So actually, it's brilliant that you are offering that solution. And then the manpower can be put elsewhere, which is great. And we're seeing that trend as well. So lots of upskilling going on, which is nice. Now, the other thing I want to bring up, you mentioned sort of recyclable packaging. Another key theme we've seen, it's been brought up time and time again. A bit more green, a bit more sustainability coming into an industry that notoriously might not quite be as far along as other industries. So it's really great that that's happening. Are you finding, again, that that's something that your customers are demanding now, or do you just think it's the way the world's going?
Since COVID and everything, everyone stopped talking it as much. There was a big push earlier on the day, and the worry was that almost every single meeting I had, everyone was talking about biodegradable, recyclable, but in reality, everyone was heading in the wrong direction, in my opinion anyways, because they went for paper options, which are, yes, you can create trees and keep it sustainable, but it's a lot more expensive than plastic. So basically, only the richer clients would afford this fancy packaging. And then they go around, show this lovely packaging that's made out of cardboard and things like that. It's pretty cool, but you lose shelf life. You know, if you take an animal, a steak, it's an expensive product. With plastic, you can maybe last 15, 20 days shelf life. When you put it in paper, it lasts only 3. So it's not really sustainable from a supermarket environment. The nice thing I've noticed recently is I think the people are better informed than they were 5 years ago when this started pushing off. So it's nice to see that now, even the supermarkets themselves, instead of going for these alternatives that are too costly and not really the way forward, they've gone back to plastic, but they've gone with recyclable plastics that are recyclable and recycled already. And so they're keeping it in. The price of the packaging has come down now. So an example of a random tray would cost you 8 to 10 pence before. With this new recycled material, it costs 4 or 5 pence. So there is a financial sense in doing that. Whereas before, if you switch to paper, it might go to 15 or 20 cents per pack. And now with all the costs increasing, you can't really afford to keep increasing everything. So that's a good thing that's changing. So hopefully the rest of the people are understanding that plastic's not necessarily bad, but it's the way you recycle it, and saving costs as well for that.
I mean, that's so super interesting. It's about, I guess, closing the loop. So, it's using that plastic, which in the long term, if you're thinking, like you said, about meat, which has its own carbon footprint attached to it, you want that to be sustainable and the longevity there. But then using that plastic time and time and time again, that has to be better for everyone, right?
Yeah, it does definitely.
brilliant. Now, listen, we're here at PPMA. It is wonderful to be back and for it to be buzzing. We're on day 2. How are you finding it so far?
Day 2 has been very good. Today has been very busy. We haven't stopped pretty much all day. Yesterday started off quiet, but I think people nowadays, it's hard to tell what day they'll come. So everyone's so busy. It's also hard to commute. So the good thing is that people are showing up, and so that's a good thing. We've got quite a few appointments for tomorrow as well, so tomorrow should be a good day as well.
Fantastic. And why is it then important that companies like yourself are here at PPMA?
When you sell equipment that's, large equipment in factories, the main times you can see them is if you visit them and then suggest what's best. Now with technology, we can show videos, so we can show quite a lot more than I could when I started 10, 11 years ago. But now, sometimes we have a nice showroom where we can show and trial things for customers, but sometimes it's hard for them to take the time to come see us. So like this, I've had a lot of customers today, existing clients, new potential clients. We talked about what we were trying to do, and we can also recommend to them things that we can't offer, but can be found at PPMA. So, for example, go to this chap over here and he'll help you with that part of equipment, and they can literally see them all in one day, and I think that's essentially why we do the PPMA.
Mike, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. Come down, have a chat with Mike, learn more about everything that they are up to.